Howdy, the Wii, home to so many great gaming experiences like Super Mario Galaxy, Twilight Princess, Red Steel 2, Mario Kart Wii, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Now as for which one I'm gonna be talking about... Are you serious? Oh fuck, he's serious! Let me paint you a picture. It's 2006. Your dad, by some miracle, managed to get his hands on it. A Nintendo Wii. Your parents start pulling everything out of the box and plugging in the console. You're handed that shiny new controller, the power button is hit, and then... you see that clean HUD for the very first time. The music is really gentle to your ears. Your parents tell you to point the Wii remote at the screen, and then BAM! You see it, the cursor. That's you right there. You're doing that. You hover over the different channels available, but one catches your eye, the Me channel. You click on it, it zooms in, and you hit start. Aside from the disc channel, the Me channel's where a lot of people spent their time on the Wii, and it's not because it's an inherently deep experience, but it's because it's just a fun creation tool with that Nintendo charm. But I bet you're all wondering, where exactly did the Miis originate? No, we're not! The Miis could be traced back to this unreleased tech demo Miyamoto threw together for the Famicom Disk System. Players could make an avatar and animate it. That's it. Years later, during the GameCube era, an unreleased game was shown off at E3 2003, called Stage Debut. This game was an evolution of the Talon Maker on the 64 disk drive. Players could use a GBA camera to take pictures of their faces and plaster them onto character models. Two failed attempts to release avatar creation tools, all because the Nintendo higher-ups didn't understand how to make a game based around these avatars. That is, until a small team made an avatar creation tool on the DS, similar to what Miyamoto has been trying to do for years now. This application was eventually adopted on the Wii during the hardware's development, and the Me channel we all know and love was finally created. My personal experience with the Miis was seeing how many different Nintendo characters I could make. Of course, I obviously made people, including myself. Check it out. The resemblance is uncanny. The act of making Miis isn't all that complicated unless you decide to make it so. Sure, you could just make a normal-looking Mii or an abomination. There's not a crazy amount of options either. You can select how tall and fat the Mii is, what kind of eyes it has, mouth, nose, hairstyle, hair color, facial hair, mole, glasses, and you can adjust the size and position of each facial feature. It's not much, but you can get really crazy with the kind of Miis you can create. The only real limit you have is your imagination. After everything is all said and done, the Mii is dumped into this little plaza with all your other Miis. Here you can blow a whistle and sort them all together however you please, start a parade, watch them interact with one another, watch them freak out when you pick them up. That's it. There really isn't a whole lot to this channel, you just make Miis here. However, it has this charm that just keeps you coming back. Making Miis is simple and fun, watching them all interact and walking around is cute, and the theme playing in the background is so soothing. I spent hours on this channel as a kid. I'd look up tutorials on how to make certain Nintendo characters like Samus and Dark Samus, I'd set up parades to watch play out, and then there was the Check Me Out channel! This channel was just so much fun, seeing other people's Miis from around the world, participating in contests, and even getting some user-created Miis made this channel such a blast. Now, of course, the Miis weren't just there for you to look at, Nintendo actually planned on utilizing them in some of their games. Obviously, there's the Wii-branded games, like Wii Sports Resort, Wii Play, Wii Fit. Miis were playable racers in Mario Kart Wii, and I love how smug they were. Super Mario Galaxy's save files used Mii heads as icons, and you could play as them in separate extra mini-games in Mario Party 8. Because why wouldn't you? They weren't in every game. One notable title they were left out of was Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Sakurai left them out of the game because he was worried about online bullying. Throughout the Wii's life, the Miis proved to be rather popular. People enjoyed the simple fun of creating your very own avatar. The Xbox 360 also had avatars, but they never caught on like the Miis. Miis were simplistic in design. Even if the Mii looked wacky as all hell, you could look at it and go, yeah, that's a Mii. Xbox used avatars that wouldn't look too out of place in a bad indie platformer. However, as popular as the Miis were, it was surprising they never debuted on their console of origin, the DS. I always thought they would work well in some DS titles like Elite Beat Agents. Oh, that's right, Miis finally came to handhelds with the release of the 3DS. It's pretty much the same song and dance as the Wii version, except the plaza's been nerfed a bit. It's much smaller, but the Mii still walk around. Nintendo did bring back the idea of taking a picture of your face using the 3DS's cameras, but instead of plastering it onto a character model, it'll try to make your face using a Mii, and as you can see, it doesn't do a very good job. Mii's got their own games here too, stuff like Tomodachi Life and Miitopia, games I've never played because I didn't own a 3DS until a year ago. I wanted one back in 2011, but my family couldn't afford it, so I just continued putting mileage on my trusty DS Lite. And because I never owned a 3DS until now, I never used Street Pass or the Mii Plaza, so all I can really say about this app is that it exists. Now, the 3DS wasn't the only thing Nintendo had available for purchase back in the day, there was also the Wii U. Back then, as a Nintendo fan, you bought the 3DS to play some games, and you bought the Wii U out of obligation. The only credit I can give the Wii U is it's a pretty good emulation box. Also, this is where things start getting a little disappointing in regards to making Miis. See, in Wii Sports Resort, this dog made an appearance in one of the mini-games, and he was just the most adorable thing ever. When I saw this little guy back in 2009, I thought, hey, does this mean that Nintendo's going to add pets to Miis? No. Now, you could say this started with the 3DS, but just the fact that they never bothered to add pet Miis on the Wii U just bugs the shit out of me. This is the exact same experience as on the Wii, which means it's still fun, but back on the Wii it had a reason to be simple. It was the first time the Miis were introduced. It made sense to keep things basic so consumers weren't just overwhelmed with options. Now we're on the Wii U. People know exactly what the Miis are and what they're all about. Why not expand them just a little bit to make them more appealing? I don't think people would have lost their minds at the thought of making their dog into a Mii, but I'm sure they would have appreciated the gesture. Also, you can't use the Mii Maker without the fucking gamepad. Despite that, it's still fun to make Miis, and instead of them being on little plazas to walk around in, they're displayed on a shelf, which is just adorable. Once again, I can't say a whole lot for the games including the Miis. I never owned a Wii U. My dad justifiably never saw any value in the purchase and bought the PS4. Can you force someone to commit adultery? So instead, I supported Nintendo by playing the Wii, and also revolt against my dad for not getting me a Wii U. Of course, Nintendo could just rectify this with the Switch by doing what the Wii U didn't, and I'm pretty sure they did because they put so much more effort into the Switch. This is even worse than the Wii U one. It feels more like a prototype or a proof of concept. The UI is clean, but there's none of that Nintendo charm. No music, no plaza, nothing. Just little profile photos of the Miis and that's it. Once again, it's the same song and dance, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels so empty. The app isn't even on the main menu. You have to go into the settings just to open it. The Miis are nothing more but a side project now, and that's a damn shame because before it felt like Nintendo put genuine effort into each app to make it more fun and interesting to make your own little characters. And these weren't just generic video game avatars, you had a genuine attachment to each one that you made. And it was fun to huddle around the Wii and try and make wacky, crazy Miis you could all point and laugh at, or even just trying to make family members. Those moments were really nice, and having those Miis in a game was really special because it felt like you had those family members right there with you, even if they weren't physically in the room. Or maybe, just maybe, I'm over-romanticizing the idea of an app where you can make a burger head.